Hello everyone and welcome again to Saxo's Macro Insights channel. I am Charu Chanana, a market strategist with Saxo Singapore, and I'm very excited to share with you today a new investment theme that we have launched this week, the Asia Pacific Tourism Theme Basket. So first, a quick background on Saxo's equity theme baskets. We have a range of those on our platform. If you go into the research tab and then click through to themes, the third option there after overview and markets, there is a big list of themes there, which basically serve as inspiration for stock ideas if you are a thematic investor. Our themes range across many different topics that can offer a very good diversification in your portfolios. And we only create investment themes when we think that the ETFs in that space do not really offer a pure exposure to the particular theme. And then it's really interesting to compare the performances across themes on a daily basis. So that usually tells us what is moving the markets really. And we can also see that on a weekly, monthly, or annual basis. You can usually find these tables in our equity research pieces on the platform or also on our website. And in fact, also in the slides for our Saxo Market Call podcast, which is available daily on all of the leading podcast channels. So as this table on the right is telling us, defense has been a leading theme over the last 1 year by a huge margin. And we are still overweight that theme with all the focus going behind defense spending, given the geopolitical tensions that we have right now, Russia's escalating the war in Ukraine, and US-China relations being really fragile as well. So now this week, we have launched a new basket of equities from the Asia travel and hospitality sectors in anticipation of a pickup in Chinese travel demand in the coming months and years. So after 3 years of pandemic restrictions, we know that China's borders are finally open. And potentially, we are also past that stage of worrying about the risks of a mass spread of an infection. There is a lot of pent-up demand, and there is also a huge pool of accumulated savings. We have often talked about the implications of that on global demand pressures or on global commodity prices as well. But an even bigger impact is likely on tourism, as these Chinese citizens have been completely deprived of travel in these last few years. Before the pandemic, as you can see on this chart on the left, Chinese travelers made 155 million trips abroad in 2019, and they spent almost $255 billion, amounting to about 14% of global tourism revenue. And this chart is actually showing quarterly numbers, so north of 40 million visits in a quarter. Now, China Outbound Tourism Research Institute is expecting Chinese travelers to take more than 100 million international trips this year. So we could potentially get back to about 60 to 70% of 2019 levels. And that could mean an estimated spend of about $180 billion globally. As these floodgates are opened, we think the first beneficiaries will be the Asian travel companies. The number of long distance flights from China is still pretty limited, and therefore there is going to be potentially some hesitancy to travel long distances at such high prices just after the reopening. So the big and early winners of that will likely be some of the Asian travel operators, as regional destinations remain the top choice for most Chinese travelers. These could include Hong Kong, Macau, and Thailand, followed by Japan, South Korea, Australia, and other Southeast Asian countries as well. We have therefore launched an Asia Pacific Tourism Equity Theme Basket comprising of 20 stocks that can be traded on the Saxo platform. These include stocks across booking platforms, airlines, airport services, hotels, restaurants, casinos, and even apparels in countries that will likely see the biggest inflow of tourists from China over the course of this year and next. This basket, overall, it represents a total market value of $438 billion, with booking holdings leading the pack, as you can see here. Sales growth has returned to a positive territory over the last year after the COVID restrictions have started to phase out, but earnings have still remained under pressure. Analysts generally expect earnings rebound for these companies as Chinese travel picks up, and this is reflected in the median price targets being 16% above the current price, and there is potential scope for further upward revisions there as well. So do check out this theme if you're looking for your next investment inspiration, and stay tuned for more macro insights from us here at Saxo.